Hey Ganga, quick question.
Yeah, what's up, Andre?
Thinking of some of your greatest accomplishments in your life, you faced some challenges and roadblocks along the way, right?
Yes, of course. There are so many I can think of that affected me in various ways. Sometimes it was demotivating to continue on that path. Why would you ask though?
Well, I'm just curious. I want to know if you credit these challenges to your success. Did it almost make it more rewarding?
Looking back on the whole journey, I would definitely say it did. It definitely added an extra layer of accomplishment to it.
That's awesome. I'm really happy it ended up having that effect. And a lot of founders that we interviewed this year shared that viewpoint during our interviews with them.
Yes, they sure did. It was so great to listen to and learn about those stories. It builds on what we have discussed on our episode 1 about them building their identity and legitimacy.
That's why, for the second episode of Founders Drive Season 3, we're homing in on the stories of their journey to their success.
We are going back to look at 4 themes we noticed are connected in these stories: community, money, mentorship, and fulfillment.
We want to start with the story of Marcia Schoburgh. She is a government worker, but she also bakes as a passion project.
Oh my gosh, her desserts look so tasty. I wish I could bake that well. Sorry, back to the point. Let's hear her journey to success. Sometimes the most inspiring business stories aren't built on capital or connections. They are built on care. Marcia Schoburg, founder of Classic Creation, works in government by day, but in the evening, her kitchen transforms into a workshop of flavor, heritage, and healing. What began as festive gift baskets and cakes for loved ones slowly bloomed into a full-fledged business.
That back home, in the UK, I had friends and they would spread the word. I didn't really sort of know a lot of people at first, so now it's not so bad because I've been doing things and taking things to work and people seeing it and they like it and they order. So I find that it's growing a bit more now.
So she enrolled in a business course.
They teach you how to promote your business, how to launch it. They tell you, basically how to register your business and all the information that you'd need and then, policies and the legislation that you'd need to, set up your business properly.
She pauses when telling this part because the truth is her biggest obstacle wasn't system or red tape. It was just self-doubt.
I think part of my main challenges, to be honest, is probably myself in the sense the confidence and not having the confidence to go out there and promote or even like my daughter said, Mom, you got to post things, you got to post. And so I think having that challenge, but it's something I know that I have to work on myself in terms of getting out there to do that because it's very frustrating when you have the thing sitting there and you could do better, but you're holding yourself back basically.
But slowly, that started to shift, thanks to family and small wins that meant everything.
And having the family in supporting you is a big thing, which my family have always done. They've always encouraged me to go and do this and tell me that I can do it. So I think for me it's exciting when you make something and people want your product and you get the orders and then you see the finishing product and you think to yourself, oh, that was nice, and then you feel to yourself, well, that wasn't so bad.
When asked about her favorite thing to bake, Marcia didn't hesitate.
I like red velvet cake, but when it comes to what we call the Jamaican black cake, I love that. I could eat that all day, because I like that one.
Baking for Marcia is more than just a hobby. It's memory, it's culture, and it's community.
I think it's important to have a community because I say not only are you serving the community, but also that's where you're going to get the support. And I think the community, their network, and like I said, like if I tell somebody or sell somebody something, they pass it on to that person, and that person then put it to the next person. So it's always good to have a community, not just for yourself, but also where you can network with them and you can support them and they can support you. Because it's not just about you. I think if you help somebody, they will also help you in return.
That sense of care, it comes from her background in social work, and it's baked into everything she does.
It's no point doing something if you don't have a good heart to do it. If you're going to do something, do it with a willing heart and do it with the condition that you're doing well for that person, not half-heartedly doing it. You have to be able to deliver service and treat people in the way that you want to be treated.
She says the system needs to do better, especially for immigrant entrepreneurs like herself.
There should be more training courses, business courses, like in the one in Durham that I did. I think there should be more of those courses available, whether and not just for immigrants, but also for anybody.
She's thinking about the next generations because right now she's working quietly, intentionally, with retirement in mind.
I think, as I said, last year, I think was when I start looking and say, I'm getting older, coming up to retirement age, so I'm thinking I need to really get this off the burn and start really focusing on it.
Man, I'm still thinking about that quote. My biggest challenge was me. That really hits hard.
Same, it's so real. We often think the toughest part is funding our competition, but for many founders, especially newcomers, it's that inner voice of doubt.
That connects so clearly to our first theme, community. Back in the UK, Marcia had one. In Canada, she had to rebuild it from scratch. And even then, it was the little affirmations from people, coworkers, customers, and family that gave her the courage to keep going.
Absolutely. And when we talk about money, her story shows that it's not always the driving force. Her business wasn't born from ambition, it was born from joy and necessity, followed later.
Well, let's not ignore that reality. She mentioned rising expenses and planning for retirement. That's the balance so many entrepreneurs face. The love for what they do versus the pressure to monetize it.
What struck me was how her mentorship came in subtle forms. A business course, her grandmother's recipe, and her children's encouragement. It wasn't formal mentorship, but it was foundational.
And finally, fulfillment. This might be my favorite theme. She said it's not aiming to be the next big cake brand, but she wants to create something real. That's what success is to her.
It's redefining what success looks like. Not just revenue or followers, but peace, purpose, and pride in what you create.
Marcia's journey really says it all. Business success doesn't have to be loud or flashy. Sometimes it's slow, personal, and deeply rooted in your culture and your people.
Exactly. What she needed wasn't venture capital or a marketing team. She needed confidence. She needed the knowledge to navigate a new system. And most of all, she needed connections.
That's what makes her story such an important blueprint, especially for international entrepreneurs. Because starting over in a new country, that takes courage. But with the right support, it is possible.
And that support has to go beyond just funding. We are talking about accessible training, courses like the one Marcia took, peer networks, mentors who understand the unique challenges of starting over.
We also need to start celebrating these smaller, soul-driven wins. You don't need to scale overnight to be successful. Creating something that reflects who you are, that's just as valid and just as powerful.
Marcia's story is familiar to her daughter Cheryl's as well. She is also a budding entrepreneur, and like her mom, her journey is rooted in social work and caring for others.
My name is Sherelle. I'm a therapist and caseworker. So I work with individuals to help them find healthy boundaries, coping skills, grounding techniques, offer them a safe support environment for them to feel heard and understood, and give them a platform to be their authentic self. I came to Canada when I was 3 years old, and I lived here ever since. Been back and forth. I was born in England, so I have a lot of family over there. My background is Jamaican descent. So I went to school for child youth care. I did the bridge program to complete my degree. So it was 3 years in college and then 2 years in university. And then I went on to do my master's in social work. I've always had a passion for working with children and youth and helping individuals, just help them and guide them in the right direction, offer them a safe support environment. My mom is also a social worker, kind of runs in the family. My brother also works with children with special needs. His wife also is involved with children and youth. So it's kind of been in the family, and I had always a passion to help people. Yeah, so my goal is to start my practice soon. I'm not there yet. It's just I'm kind of getting experience doing business plans to kind of do that in the future. I've just been getting experience as a therapist over a year now. I always was in that kind of field. I've always worked helping children. I worked in group homes, school settings, so I have a vast variety of experience. So I think that's always been my passion. So now I kind of want to continue that and work for myself while helping the people around me. It is a nerve-wracking thing where you kind of, financially it's scary and, inflation and everything. So I think starting, small and then kind of leading your way up will be helpful for sure in the future. I think there are some gaps in terms of what resources are there for minorities or people of color, and you're not always treated fairly with when you go get a loan or a rental space, right? You have to also look at, are they gonna look at my skin color and determine if they're able to kind of pursue that space because the skin color that I have, right? So I think there are some challenges, but that doesn't kind of stop me from, still seeking my dreams. I think it's very important. A community, when we come together as people, and we have a single goal in mind is to help people around us, I think it's powerful. And I think it allows us to connect on a deeper level because we still have the same passion. So when we have everything aligns, I think we have that common goal, and that's to help people. Working alongside people, then we're able to accomplish that goal, right? And when we have one person can help, but when we have a community, it's more helpful, right? Never give up. Don't listen to outside noise. I think, to try to put your best foot forward, take it day by day, and really try to aim for what you believe in and, do trainings, learn, research, always grow, because that helps you, build your confidence, knowledge, and you're able to kind of build what you want, your dreams.
Cherelle's story has a lot of parallels with her mom's, including how she brought her background into her business journey. I love that she and her mother haven't felt the pressure to let go of their culture either. In fact, Marcia brought it into the heart of their business. Literally, that Jamaican black cake isn't just a dessert, it's her story.
That's the real takeaway here. Sometimes success isn't in the hustle, it's in the fruitcake that tastes like home.
I'm gonna need a slice of that, by the way.
Honestly, same. But until then, that's a wrap on this episode. To all the founders out there, especially those starting small, starting late, or starting over, your story matters.
And we can't wait to keep telling them.
So, in our next episode of Founders Drive, we will travel to Africa to learn about entrepreneurship there and how sometimes people have to leave so that they can return.
That's all for now. Thanks for listening.